Hi there. I think this was a problem with Facebook, so it didn't happen. I'm going to click the go live button there. Looks like I'm thinking if we go to the YouTube channel that everything will be. I just did the broadcast. I just finished the broadcast. So let's. All right, I'll start again. We'll do the whole thing over again for the Facebook group. Okay, so it's the whole. The short, 15-minute live stream is about the breath pulse. And it's about how you can use the breath to move yourself from the consciousness and awareness of the third dimension into the oneness dimension, into the first dimension, into the void, as it were. I'm going to read a little bit from my book, Humming for Health, just about a page and a half, because this is a story in my book about the breath pulse and how it created what I called, was a small miracle in my life. But you can't get Humming for Health on Amazon anymore because I'm in a little dispute with Amazon, so I'm going to have to find another place to put it up. But I'm going to read from you about this breath pulse and my friend Jim. The breath pulse was taught to me by my friend Jim. I call him Jim the Mystic. It's a meditation that uses the breath to open the door to the dimension of oneness. He demonstrated it to me several times and even sent me a recording of him demonstrating it. He used it as a technique to connect with the essence of another person, and then he would sing them a blessing. And it usually always elevated and delighted them. It's a very good oneness meditation that helps you to get to that third ingredient of a miracle that I call oneness or divinity. So the breath pulse is done with one breath. It starts on the sound ho. And you only use the breath. You don't use your vocal cords. Okay, so that's the first part of it. And that symbolizes, the ho symbolizes the masculine element of the third dimension. And the next sound that you make with the breath without your vocal cords is H-A. And that symbolizes the feminine aspect of the third dimension. And you go ho ha and move to ch, chi for the spirit energy of the third dimension. And then the sound stops just temporarily, and as you get ready to blast into the second dimension with the sound tau, tau, T-A-O, tau. That's the second dimension. That's the yin-yang of things. And then through the second dimension into H-U, which usually comes out as a kind of a little whistle sound like that. And that takes you into the dimension of oneness. Now, one evening, I had an unexpected allergic reaction to something that I had eaten. At first, the allergic reaction was just kind of itchy, but then over the course of an hour or two, it turned into an all-out hives attack with large blotches all over me that were more than itchy. I tried scratching, that didn't help. I tried an anti-itch cortisol cream, that didn't help. I was looking for some Benadryl, couldn't find any Benadryl. So I decided to just go to bed and hope that I could get some sleep. But when I got into bed, there was just way too much itching for sleep to happen. So then I remembered how Jim told me he had cured his prostate cancer. He said that he spent so much time out of his body in the void, in that consciousness of oneness, that the cancer no longer had any one persona to connect to. Jim's ego had melted into the oneness, and the cancer had no place to live. And he did these meditations every day, and he cured his prostate cancer, staying in that oneness, no ego state. Well, all of that made sense to me, and I thought, well, let me give it a try. But I'd never been able to will myself out of my body. I had never had an out of body experience except for one brief moment at the end of a dream years ago when I saw myself moving through outer space, excuse me, towards the earth, and then waking up in my bed, astonished at what I just seen. I was in outer space and I saw the blue earth and the sun on the globe, and like lightning speed, boom, I was in my bed sitting up like, whoa, what just happened? um, so I realized I had an opportunity here to sort of surrender to the itch and allow myself to be vulnerable and open hearted. And I also had a very high emotional frequency sort of need to make this work, so that helped too. All of that desire and intention helped. I was getting ready to receive a miracle in the space of oneness. So I began with that intention and with the understanding that I was asking for help. I took a deep breath and started the very slow chant. As I chanted and repeated that over and over, I heard that there were different notes to the ho and the ha and the chi, which was a surprise to me because I thought that you needed your vocal cords to create notes. But the breath in the mouth forming certain vowels will create a very soft harmonic with the breath. So I heard like ho, ha, chi as do, mi, sol inside of my body, and then tau, hu. Um, I had meditated for a long time using my French horn and playing harmonic chords, on the horn, and I would always try to follow them out into the ethers and kind of get to another dimension, but I never really quite landed there. But that night, it was as if those harmonics, the sounds of the breath inside of my mouth, had moved me through the third dimension into the duality of Tao and then into oneness, Hu. I actually heard a sound like a bubble popping, like it was subtle, but it was just like that. And I felt my head like as if it was popping through a etheric membrane, like, and then I was in the void. There was no sound. There was no light. There was just nothingness, complete stillness, and emptiness that felt full of potential. I lingered there for about 5 minutes, letting go of my ego and blending in with the oneness. And then, after about 5 minutes, I popped back into my body. The itching was completely gone. The hive patches that were all over my body, completely gone. My skin looked normal again. The allergic reaction had been stopped, dead in its tracks. And my whole body returned to normal. So, give it a try. It's a fun little exercise. You don't have to know how to sing. You just have to say ho, ha, chi, tau, hu without using your vocal cords. So take a deep breath and practice kind of parsing out the air so that you can get to the end. If you can't get all the way to the end, in between the chi and the tau, take a quick breath. And then you can add more air so that you have plenty left for the hu to ride that right into the oneness. Let me know if you have any success with this in the comments. That would be great. What I'm interested in telling you about right now is quickly the retreat that I'm doing up at Lake Clear Lodge, the Humming for Health retreat, grounding, relaxing, and recharging retreat. You can read all about it on my webpage under the shop tab, thesoundlady.com shop. But I know you probably hear, oh, I don't want to go read a sales ad page. This is not like any other sales ad page you've ever read. You know how those sales ad pages, when they're trying to sell you something on Facebook, they just kind of go on forever and ever and ever. And there's all this repetition and there's all of this, oh, you feel terrible and this is awful for you and this is awful for you. And wouldn't you like this to change? And they scare you. They induce fear so that the thing that they have to fix you becomes this urgent need. This sales page is nothing like that. I could not. I've tried writing those sales pages and I can't do it because I'm not. You don't start a relationship with fear. I thought, instead of frightening people and raising their fear level so that they'll press on that button and buy something, I thought, why couldn't we just inspire people and motivate people to do stuff that's could be really good for themselves? So that's what that my sales page is. It's a pleasant read. It doesn't cause any stress in your body. So maybe you'll check that out, please. thesoundlady.com under the shop tab. And that's all for now for this week. Next week, we'll be back with some other new, hopefully inspirational, motivational tip for your consciousness raising. Bye-bye.